Yeah, it's me. Again. But fogging out my glasses. This is basically it's like my it's like my Luch mask. You know what I'm saying? Like Rey Mysterio. Mine just so happens to be kind of like a black duck ninja mask. Yeah, it's cold out anyway. And another thing, even though this might look stupid, it adds extra padding on your skull. And I do a lot of like parkour, a lot of tumbling and rolling and flipping. So it's good to have extra padding. You know what I mean? And plus, it is cold. You always can de-layer. You know what I mean? It keeps the mosquitoes out of your ears. Helps tug tight my glasses as well. But no, my this video isn't about explaining my little mask here. It's about the game San Andreas, GTA, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The one from, it was like from 2003. And what I want to talk about, the game had a lot of predictive programming in it. For instance, all right, when you play the game, here's one. I mean, this is on every one of the games. It's like basically you have this star rating. Like if you commit minor crimes, you get 1 star. But then after you start committing more heavier crimes, you get two stars. And after you keep committing them, you start to get 3. And at that point, you got all these character avatar police coming after you, and they start to send the helicopters now at level 3. Then you shoot down a couple helicopters and keep the wave going, and then you get 4 stars, and all of a sudden now they start sending SWAT vehicles at you, and they're coming in helicopters, and now there's dudes paracording down, and then if you continue on and they can't stop you on San Andreas on Grand Theft Auto, the last star, 5 stars, they have the military tanks basically start to come out after you. And I didn't realize it, but it's like basically the game is advertising martial law. You know what I'm saying? In a way. And it even goes deeper into that. I mean, I'll explain in a minute, but it's like something that was programmed in the game that was like, look, there might have been zombie movies, right? But there's this particular building in the game, and you walk in it, and it's got something called zombie tech, and it's got this DNA, this 3-strand DNA sculpture in it, and it's kind of strange. You know what I'm saying? That it was in there, and it's not like if you don't go exploring, you won't see it in the game. But I'm just saying this is predictive programming, because now the zombie situations are we're having real zombie situations, naked guys chewing other people's face. You know what I'm saying? Whether that was a hoax, false flag, because think about how much speculation and fear that generated. You know what I'm saying? That would be the motive behind faking it. But the fact that it was in the game, it seems like this is a Illuminati card game strategy. So there's 2 things in the game that are predictive programming. It also has a couple missions where you actually use drones. And at the time when the game came out, drones, nobody even talked about drones. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's in the game, and the dude in the game, he is battling against Berkeley. And if you look into Berkeley is heavy into the 666 beast system, microchips, and computer programmings. You know what I'm saying? So all your nanotech, your spy porn, a lot of it's coming out of that area. And the other one is in Colorado. You look at Colorado state flag, and they have an all-seeing eye on it. It basically looks like, to me, what I jive from the symbolism is that it's police state. It's a 1984 Big Brother. That's what the Colorado state seal basically conveys. You know what I'm saying, to me, symbolism wise. Some people would be like, oh, that symbolizes fraternity and brotherhood and the American experiment. You know what I'm saying? But you can see that and go either way. You know what I mean? So it's one way is not positive. More stuff that was in the game. That was predictive programming. There's these missions in the game where you have to, if you can find these 50 different photos. In a way, it almost broadcasted the fact that we were going to have these smartphones with the cameras, and in this day and age where we live in, everyone's constantly taking pictures of things, taking videos of things, and broadcasting on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Even though they didn't have that in that game, but the part 2 of that particular series, it's called Grand Theft Auto V. And in that one, on the other hand, I mean, basically, in the game, part of your whole operating system is a cell phone, a smartphone. And you can take pictures on that just like the other game. But the other game had these secret missions where you had to take like pictures of landmarks. You know what I'm saying? And you see how they use landmarks in their operations. And in movies, for instance, one famous landmark that they always try to get it into shot is the Washington Monument. For instance, that's just one way they use landmarks as distinguishing features, or it conveys some kind of, it can convey an esoteric and an exoteric meaning. You know what I'm saying? Which all things do anyway. But that was kind of predictive programming in the last one, and they put it in the game in the newer one. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how much predictive programming comes out of these video games. Also in the game, you have a station. Well, in most Grand Theft Autos, you had one of the stations on the game. It's called Talk Radio. And back when I used to play the games, by accident, I'd listen to the Talk Radio programmings. And it's like they make these artificial commercials too that are like the Epsilon program. You know what I'm saying? And then you come to find out Epsilon is a real organization out here, and it's not. I mean, from what I heard about it, it's real. It's real new agey, transhumanistic, evolutionistic. And I think it even made a reference that they were saying that it was Scientology, basically. They were like, yeah, it's an alien in a volcano. And if you reference alien volcano, you go right to L. Ron Hubbard. And what's crazy about that is that the initiation into Scientology is you go through interrogation. And it's based on something called the Kubark Interrogation Manual. And gradually over time, they break you a little deeper, a little more mind control, a little hypnosis, a little neurolinguistics. They break you down, and then after you divulge all your secrets, then they say, if you leave this cult, we will divulge your secrets to the public. And I mean, you can look that up, that the Kubark CIA Interrogation Manual. And then you line it up next to a Scientology initiation or sheet. It's very similar. And actually in the game, there's a part where you're like this gang member guy, and basically the cops frame you as soon as you get into town, and you're a patsy. Like, either you do what they say, or they basically blackball you into the joint, basically, or they'll sprinkle some crack, sacrifice you. And in the game, they actually tried to do that to this characters, where they used them through the whole game, and then they end up turning on them at the end. But there's a point where you get away from the cop handlers, and then it's the James Woods character, which is the CIA, or a rogue CIA, or maybe sometimes when you're so deep in the CIA, they give you your own kind of branch where you get to operate. You get to operate with unrestricted. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go and subcontract assets. You know what I'm saying, to accomplish whatever their things are. And if you look into the CIA sells cocaine, these motherfuckers are corrupt as a motherfucker. And in the game, you become an operative of the fucking government, but not the government, the official government, the shadow government. You know what I'm saying? And this guy's basically saying, we have to do this to maintain order out of chaos. You know what I'm saying? And the character's voice is James Woods. I mean, it's hilarious. Like, there's this part where you're at this spot, and all of a sudden, like James Woods is coaching the guy, and he's like, yeah, you got to do this. And he's like, so go to this spot. You go to this spot, and all of a sudden your homie shows up. And you say to him, you're like, hey, man, how did you know to meet me here? And he's like, you called me and told me. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't call and tell him. So basically the government set it all up. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. That's predictively programmed in the game. And there also is, it's like, there's a mission called Dam and Blast where you jack an airplane and you fly it, and then you jump out of the airplane, and the airplane falls into the Hoover Dam. You know what I'm saying? On the game. Which is crazy because you keep seeing the same thing being broadcasted, and I even seen it in Beavis and Butthead. The same schematic narrative. And then this other guy has showed that on a certain bill, if you fold it up a certain way, that it shows the Hoover Dam basically breaking down. So, that's definitely an Ordo ab chaos type of operation there. And then they keep broadcasting in the video games, which is just like, that's not random. It's predictive programming. And someone is aware of what they're going to do before they do it. You know what I'm saying? And then even after the fact, they mock, you know what I'm saying, in the video games in a way that shows you that, they were aware. They telegraph it without telegraphing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. But yeah, man, the predictive programming is everywhere, dude. And it most certainly is in video games. And then you see that Tianjin explosion in China, and where you see the beam come in like this, and then you see an explosion go out this way. And then you look at this game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think it's called Ghosts. And this was in the game. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't just vague reference and speculation. No, this is directly connected. It's like, listen, it's trend setting. They set a trend. They announced that this trend was going to be happening before it actually happened. And actually, on the end of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the CIA guy helps you to basically for one, your gang turns on you, and they false flagged your mom. Basically, the dude's mom's dead, and it was like an assassination, and basically his homies and the police was all involved on it. And the CIA guy actually helps you retake over your neighborhood. And then at the end, the showdown is between you and the corrupt officer, which was Samuel Jackson. And it's a martial law situation. The whole hood's burning. It's a riot. It's just all chaos, pandemonium. You're driving, chasing him. He's in a fire truck. You're in one of those SWAT things with the wall smasher on it. I mean, it's crazy, man.